This is our Banff National Park family trip. It was only a week and we decided to fly out of Newark because the tickets were cheaper. However, this required us to take the lure to NZ Transit to the air train at Newark. We've been planning this trip for months, and finally, after securing our 2 car seats, 2 backpack carriers, and packing our giant luggage, we were all set to go. We arrive at the airport and we have to take a shuttle to our terminal. We left the house around 10:30 so that we can make our 2:50 flight, and we were cutting it really close. But thankfully the security line wasn't too bad and we made it just in time for boarding. The kids were pretty good on the flight, except Karis didn't watch anything on the screen. She just wanted to go to the bathroom so that she can play with the faucet. That was the only thing that entertained her the whole flight. Alright, we finally made it to the plane, and it was a bit of a commute for us. We took 3 trains. We took the Lure, and then we took the NJ Transit, and then it was the air train, and then from the air train we had to take a shuttle bus, and we almost missed our window to check in our bags. And so we made it, and the flight's not too bad. It's only 4.5 hours, and it's about an hour left, and we managed to get Cooper to fall asleep. So yeah, there he is. And then she took a nap too, so hopefully tonight they'll have a good sleep in the hotel. But until then, we're gonna try to survive the next hour. Alright, it's about 7 o'clock and we just landed. Everyone's in good spirits. At this point, we're all just very hungry. So we go and get our rental car and get some Vietnamese food before calling it a night. Alright, it is 5:30 a.m., about 7:30 Eastern time. We all just woke up, and this is day 1 of our adventure. We're gonna do a bit of hiking today in Barrier Lake, and it's kind of nice because yesterday we were traveling all day, so today will be really the first day that we get to do anything, and then we'll go to Canmore afterwards and explore downtown. So we're gonna get ready and get some breakfast. So everyone recommended that we stop by at 2 places when we go to Canada. The first place is A&W, and so we got breakfast there. The kids loved it. They ate mostly bread. The second spot is Tim Hortons. So we end up getting some tea, coffee, and some sandwiches. Our first stop was Barrier Lake, and it was pretty windy. Nobody was there, but we managed to get some really good pictures right by the lake.
Oh, hold my hand. Hold my hand.
One time. Cooper?
This is fun.
What are we doing?
Hiking. This is fun hiking. Is it?
just finished our first hike in Canada, and it was a bit stressful because we weren't sure if we were going to see any bears. We didn't see any bears, so that was great. We weren't prepared for the incline to the top, but it was great when we got there. It was just kind of hard to get pictures with the kids because they were a little bit cranky, and the air quality wasn't the best, but we did it in under 2 hours, and yeah, we're ready to just take the rest of the day nice and easy. Alright, our first stop is Canmore, and we stop at a ramen shop that Fionn and Alan had recommended that we go to. We had the chicken karaage with rice and the pork tonkatsu ramen, and the kids loved it. So after lunch, Maggie wanted to go downtown and explore, so I brought the kids to Canmore Public Library, which is inside of this facility called Elevation. So I took them around the facility. We saw a rock climbing area, and then we decided to go to the park to burn out some energy. I met a local mom who was telling me a little bit about Canmore, and then we decided to go downtown to a little toy shop and walk around a little bit to see the area before going to our Airbnb. We were greeted by Chris, who owns the Airbnb, and he was so welcoming. We unpacked and get everyone ready because tomorrow we have a big day. We're going to be going to Lake Louise. The Airbnb is really nice, super clean, and we felt right at home. So we needed to settle in, have some dinner, get some rest because we need to get up at 5 a.m. tomorrow. Alright, we are headed to Lake Louise. It is Thursday and there's not a lot of people on this shuttle. We took the 7:30 shuttle and we wanted to beat the crowds, and also I wanted to get tickets for Lake Moraine on Saturday, so we got there at 8, and unfortunately I couldn't get those tickets. But Lake Louise was incredible. Lots of people even at 8 a.m. but the views were gorgeous, and we were able to take a ton of pictures with the kids. They weren't the most cooperative, but we were able to snap a couple good ones. After taking some time at the lake, we went up the 4-hour hike to Agnes Tea House, and on the way we saw Mirror Lake, which was pretty nice, and we also saw some wildlife, little blue jay and some horses. And so we got up these little stairs to the tea house, and that's where the crowd was. Everyone was eating and just waiting to get into the tea house. Maggie just got a scone and a tea, which was okay.
Mommy!
Yeah, look, we made it to the lake and the tea house. So we're taking a lunch break, and then we're gonna head back to the shuttle to go to Emerald Lake. Alright, it's our first hike of the day, and we got here around 7. Nobody in the parking lot today, so it seems like it's gonna be just us and a couple other folks. This was a relatively easy hike, and all along the way we saw streams and waterfalls, and when we got to the top, of course, Karis was not having it. She was really upset for some reason. After the hike, we went to the town of Banff and visited a library where the kids got to play a little bit. I took some free diapers from the diaper bank and found that they had a little pantry. We brought the kids to a park and had a little bit of lunch to eat. Maggie found this rice ball spot, and I had a burrito, which was really good. And of course, we saw more wildlife. The hardest part of this trip is managing the kids' nap times. They are only able to do something really big in the morning, and then in the afternoon, we just had to relax. And so we didn't do too much after we hiked. I also found this really cool climbing gym right by where we stayed in Canmore and got a little session in. After our big hike up Tunnel Mountain Summit, we decided to take it easy, grab some pictures by the garden, do a little bit of laundry, and from there, we decided that the kids needed to nap. So I drove them around while Maggie went downtown to do a little shopping. And of course, we had to get a picture by the Banff sign, so we took a couple pictures, went back to Canmore for lunch, and realized that we didn't make a reservation, so we weren't able to eat at the restaurant that Maggie wanted to go to. It's Saturday, and this is the big day. We are off to Moraine Lake. Thank you, Jackie, for hooking us up with shuttle tickets. The shuttle to Moraine Lake is a lot longer than Lake Louise. Lake Louise was close to 10 minutes. This shuttle was about 25 to 30 minutes. Our goal was to take a couple of pictures and to do one hike to the Constellation Lakes and hopefully make it back in one piece.
Okay, we just made it to Lake Moraine and it's about 8 o'clock in the morning. Not too packed here. It's not too cold either. It's about 50 degrees. Hopefully we don't see any bears.
We made it, and there's not a lot of people here. This is actually a lot nicer than Lake Louise, I think, because it's not as touristy. It took us like half an hour to get some good pictures, but I think we got a couple of good ones. So we're gonna just stay a couple more minutes, enjoy the view, and then do a little hike.
So we got to the lakes and we were fortunate enough to not run into any bears. Phew!
Hello, 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 hello.
So next on our itinerary was to visit the Icefields Parkway. So we drove all the way up to see Bow Lake. The kids had a blast on the beach. And then we went over to see Takawa Falls, which was magnificent. Cooper and I went up to take a picture on this giant rock. And then the rest of the trip, we took it very easy. Had some really good Thai food and called it a night. The next day, we decided to go to a cat cafe so the kids can play with the kitties who were recently adopted. So we got 30 minutes of a private space with the cats. Cooper and Karis were so excited to play with these little creatures. And we decided we were going to go to Calgary because we didn't really have much to do anymore. So we played at the playground and we found a airplane themed playground. We took the kids there to burn off some energy. They had this really cool conveyor belt thing that reminded me of going through security at the airport. We went to Goodwill afterwards to do a little shopping. I bought some swim trunks and Cooper wanted to get some toys, but I said no. We had some food at this really good fuzz spot and it was super authentic, reminded me of home. The bowls were huge and the kids were hungry, so they ate a lot. We found a bakery and grabbed some baos so that we can eat it at the airport, and also visited the library. So we found a children's library in Calgary which was completely renovated, and they had all of these really cool toys and activities for the kids. There was a train set. They had these octagon Lego pieces that the kids can play with. And there was a little climbing structure for the kids to go in, and they didn't really like it that much. They really just spent most of their time with the magnet tiles, which is toys that we have at home, so I don't really understand why they want to play with it. Anyways, it's our last night in Calgary and we decided we were gonna just relax a little bit at the hotel, and found out that they have a pool area and also a water slide. I have never been to a hotel that has a water slide before. So that's our trip. We are headed back home, pretty tired, and we had a lot of fun. But will we do it again? Maybe not for a long time. Peace.
We are on a boat. You can be yes.
Gonna be eating that now. We have dinner. Just do like 2-3 seconds. It's a no. You having fun?
It's so cold. Then you have to eat.
My back.